Good morning. Haven't turned the phone on. See what time it is. Probably about 5:30 maybe. I don't know. 5:30. Just listening to the birds. Wonderful way to wake up. Camp packed, ready to go. Probably about 7 o'clock or so. I'm gonna relax, have a cup of coffee. Probably get in the water at 7:30. It'll be an hour earlier than yesterday. And I've got a huge dam, probably an hour from here, that is going to be quite the portage. Somebody told me it's straight up a mountain and then back down, so we'll see how that goes. But we'll see what challenges await. So getting ready to put back in the water. Change of plans though. Talked to the wife last night, and some events took place that I need to get back home tomorrow and take care of those. So I'm not going to be doing 3 days on this trip, just to probably put in another 25 to 30 miles today and get an evac back to the house, so then that way I can take care of some things tomorrow before I go back to work. But beautiful morning, sun's coming up, water looks like it's moving good, so should be a very good day. So water's got about a 1 mile per hour flow to it. The sun is just starting to be able to get up over the treetops. Birds are still singing joyfully. You know, on every one of these connections, I always meet a few awesome people. Now this guy that I just stayed at, it's not a campground. What I did was I called a bunch of people in the area I figured I would spend the night at, and asked if I could just borrow a couple of trees. And this guy was kind enough to do that, and turns out that a really good friend of his is friends with a really good friend of mine down in the Dayton area. So it's a small world, but really awesome of them. Set me up for the night really well. So I will enjoy this day and then come back next weekend. I have to figure out my sleep spots for next week. But hopefully get 25, 30 miles in today. So then, what I'm at, 94 mile marker right now. If I get 30, that'd leave me 64 miles. It'd be an easy 3 days. Wasn't paying attention, I just missed a group of deer. They were down at the water's edge getting a drink. Nice setting. It's a nice sized river. It's not too wide. Deep enough water that you're not dragging. But I guess where I stayed, Chris was saying that it's a little higher than it usually is. So May 18th, good reference point for this area, whatever that CFS was. It's been good paddling hike. was that up there? A pair of hawks. Jumped out of the tree, went around the bend. So I think I'm going to take the rudder kit off of this kayak. I haven't even used it once this trip. Even the water's been deep enough almost the entire time. Just for the simple fact of I like just a fixed spot for my feet to stop at on the footrests, instead of having every time I shift a little pressure from one foot to the other, maybe to adjust my position in the seat or something, the rudder is moving. And even though it doesn't track perfectly, it still tracks a lot better than other boats I've been behind. So good enough, I guess. And the biggest reason to take the rudder kit off of is I always re-enter my boat from the back of the boat. Just kind of hop up on the back and then scoot up into the cockpit. But with the rudder kit, I can't do that. And side entry, I think it's just not as easy as coming in the other way. Getting back into the cockpit. So this would almost all be floodplain, I think. So that's probably why there's no houses or anything right up on the river, which creates a real nice setting. Birds and the sound of moving water. Good way to spend the morning. The places that I've paddled through that have a large floodplain area are usually some of the most secluded, for the exact reason I was speaking of before. You're not allowed to build any kind of living structure. I don't know if you're allowed to build any kind of structure at the levels that would put you in close proximity to the river. Scioto had a lot of that. Sometimes I wish I didn't have any mileage to do and I could just simply float and steer. Which I do from time to time, but when I'm doing the routes, I gotta get some miles in. Oh my gosh. Are you for real? At least the Walhonding Dam, or whatever that was, had a switchback, set of switchbacks so you could get up there. Oh my gosh. Oh. Let's see what advice the map has here. The portage left. Oh man. Oh wow. Now I wonder how any water even gets through that dam. You got 12 to 16 foot deep of piled up logs against that retaining wall. Man, I thought I was feeling a lot better, but I guess I wasn't over this thing yet because my throat is just a mess again. Sinuses, headache. So I guess water is getting through it to some extent because I can hear it coming out on the other side. Oh my gosh. Portage left, huh? So I guess I'm going to have to duck into those trees on the left. You know what? I really don't want to go left. I don't know why I would need to go left. Oh boy, decisions. All right, well, I guess I make a decision and move forward. My legs are on fire. Pull the kayak up that hill to this driveway. What I did was wait on that parking lot across the street and wait for the people to come out, be done hiking. They had a pickup truck, paying them to run me onto the other side of the hill. So, I don't know, it cost me maybe a half hour or so, but well worth it. So, this is the back side of the dam. It did have one chute that was still open, not clogged with logs. So, it would have been illegal and extremely dangerous to run through that, just because of the logs that you would have had to go over within that channel. The current right after it cleared that chute could have, but didn't. Illegal to boot. So what I did was I went across the street. There was a parking lot over there with vehicles, and I saw a pickup truck parked there. So there's a lot of people back there hiking, walking with their dogs. I waited for the individual to come off the trails that owned the truck. Him and his buddies were over there hiking. He told me later in the conversation that him and his buddies are getting ready to do the last 100 miles of the Appalachian Trail, and that's why they were over there hiking. But gave me a ride from the bottom of the dam up over the hill, back down to the river on the other side of the dam, and so wonderful. I forced him to take $40. He didn't want to take anything, but I just had to force him to do that. So Jeremiah, you are a rock star. Appreciate you. The meeting of cool people just always continue every time I'm on the river. People are always willing to help people for the sake of adventure. And hey man, if we never talk again, Jeremiah, I hope you guys enjoy your Appalachian adventure. He was actually talking with interest about maybe checking into an L2R connection. So that would be cool to hear from.